What if I told you that the secret to living longer, feeling happier, and staying healthier after 60 has nothing to do with expensive supplements or gym memberships? What if the answer was helping someone else? I'm talking about volunteering, and before you think this is just another feel-good story about being nice, let me be clear. Volunteering after 60 isn't just good for the people you help. It's scientifically proven to extend your life, improve your mental health, keep your brain sharp, and even reduce your risk of chronic disease. This isn't charity. This is self-care disguised as service. Welcome to the Milestone Mentor, where we explore everything that makes life after 60 vibrant, meaningful, and extraordinary. If you're ready to discover how giving back can transform your health, your happiness, and your sense of purpose, hit that subscribe button right now. Ring that notification bell too, because we're building a community of people who are proving that the best years really can come after 60. Don't miss out on this journey we're taking together. My name is on a volunteer roster at 3 different organizations. I spend about 12 hours a week giving my time, and I can honestly say that those 12 hours have added years to my life and life to my years. I'm healthier, happier, more connected, and more energized than I was a decade ago. And I'm not alone. The research on volunteering after 60 is absolutely stunning. Today, we're going to explore why volunteering is one of the most powerful things you can do for yourself after 60, how to find the right volunteer opportunity for you, what the science actually says about the health benefits, and how to get started even if you've never volunteered before. Let me start with a story that changed my perspective on everything. 3 years after I retired, I was miserable. I'd spent 40 years building a career, raising a family, being busy every single moment. Then suddenly, nothing. My days felt empty. I'd worked so hard to get to retirement, and now that I was here, I didn't know what to do with myself. I felt invisible, unnecessary, like I'd been put out to pasture. My doctor noticed. At my annual checkup, she asked how I was doing, and I broke down. I admitted I felt purposeless. I expected her to prescribe antidepressants. Instead, she wrote something else on her prescription pad. She wrote volunteer and the name of a local literacy program. She told me that if I wanted to feel better, I needed to help someone else feel better. I was skeptical, but I made the call. Within a week, I was matched with a woman named Maria who was learning to read English. She was 72 years old and had immigrated to this country 5 years earlier. She'd been too embarrassed to admit she couldn't read, so she'd been faking it, missing doctor's appointments because she couldn't read the letters, unable to help her grandchildren with homework. That first session, we sat together with a simple children's book, and I watched this incredible woman sound out words letter by letter. Her determination was inspiring. Her gratitude was overwhelming. And something in me shifted. For the first time in 3 years, I felt needed. I felt useful. I felt like I mattered. 6 months later, Maria read her first complete book. She cried. I cried. And when I went home that day, I realized I hadn't thought about my own problems once during our session. I'd been completely present, completely focused on helping her. And in helping her, I'd helped myself. That was 5 years ago. Maria can now read at a 6th grade level. She reads to her grandchildren. She reads her own mail. She's even started reading novels for pleasure. And me? I'm a different person. My depression lifted. My sense of purpose returned. I made new friends through the literacy program. I learned new skills. I even found that my own cognitive abilities improved because I was teaching and problem-solving regularly. Volunteering didn't just give me something to do. It gave me a reason to be. Let's talk about what's actually happening in your body and brain when you volunteer. Because the benefits aren't just emotional or psychological, they're physical, measurable, and profound. A landmark study published in the American Journal of Public Health followed thousands of older adults for several years. The results were remarkable. People over 60 who volunteered regularly had a 22% lower risk of dying during the study period compared to non-volunteers. 22%. That's comparable to the life-extending benefits of exercise or a healthy diet. Think about that. Helping others literally helps you live longer. But why? What's the mechanism? First, volunteering reduces stress. When you're focused on helping someone else, your cortisol levels drop. Cortisol is the stress hormone that, when chronically elevated, damages your cardiovascular system, weakens your immune system, and accelerates aging. Volunteering provides a natural stress relief that's more effective than many medications. Second, volunteering combats loneliness and isolation, which are major health risks for people over 60. Loneliness isn't just unpleasant, it's deadly. Studies show that chronic loneliness is as harmful to your health as smoking 15 cigarettes a day. It increases your risk of heart disease, stroke, dementia, and early death. Volunteering connects you with other people, creates social bonds, and gives you regular, meaningful interaction. It's preventive medicine. Third, volunteering gives you a sense of purpose, and purpose is protective. Research from Rush University Medical Center found that people with a strong sense of purpose were significantly less likely to develop Alzheimer's disease, even when their brains showed physical signs of the disease. Purpose seems to create cognitive reserve that protects against decline. Fourth, many volunteer activities involve physical movement, whether you're stocking shelves at a food bank, playing with shelter animals, or leading museum tours. You're moving your body. That physical activity contributes to cardiovascular health, strength, balance, and mobility. Fifth, volunteering stimulates your brain. Learning new tasks, solving problems, interacting with diverse people, teaching skills. These all create new neural pathways and strengthen existing ones. Your brain stays plastic, adaptable, and sharp. And here's something fascinating. Volunteering activates the same reward centers in your brain as receiving rewards does. When you help someone, your brain releases dopamine, oxytocin, and endorphins. This is sometimes called the helper's high. It's a natural mood boost that comes from generosity. Studies using brain imaging have shown that when people think about giving to charity or helping others, the pleasure centers of their brain light up. We're literally wired for generosity. Helping others makes us feel good because we evolved to be social, cooperative creatures. When we volunteer, we're fulfilling a deep biological need to contribute to our community. There's also evidence that volunteering reduces inflammation in the body. Chronic inflammation is linked to nearly every age-related disease, including heart disease, diabetes, cancer, and Alzheimer's. Researchers have found that people who volunteer regularly have lower levels of inflammatory markers in their blood. The social connection and sense of purpose that come from volunteering seem to calm the inflammatory response. The mental health benefits are equally impressive. Multiple studies have shown that volunteering reduces symptoms of depression and anxiety. It's particularly effective for people experiencing life transitions like retirement or becoming widowed. Volunteering provides structure, routine, social connection, and purpose, all of which are protective factors for mental health. One study specifically looked at older adults who had lost a spouse. Those who began volunteering after their loss had significantly lower rates of depression and reported higher life satisfaction than those who didn't volunteer. The volunteer work didn't erase their grief, but it gave them a reason to get out of bed, a place to belong, and a way to channel their energy into something meaningful. There's even evidence that volunteering can reduce chronic pain. When you're engaged in helping others, your focus shifts away from your own discomfort. The endorphins released during volunteering act as natural painkillers. And the sense of accomplishment and purpose can change your relationship with pain, making it more manageable. The cardiovascular benefits are particularly noteworthy. Research from Carnegie Mellon University found that adults over 50 who volunteered regularly had lower blood pressure than non-volunteers. High blood pressure is a major risk factor for heart attack and stroke, so this is a significant protective effect. Another study found that people who volunteered at least 200 hours per year, that's about 4 hours a week, had a 40% lower risk of developing hypertension. 4 hours a week of helping others could protect your heart as effectively as some medications. The cognitive benefits extend beyond just preventing decline. Volunteering can actually improve cognitive function. A study published in the Journals of Gerontology found that older adults who tutored elementary school children in reading showed improvements in executive function, memory, and cognitive flexibility after just a few months of volunteering. Teaching activates different parts of the brain than learning does. When you explain something to someone else, you have to organize information, find the right words, adapt to their level of understanding, and respond to questions. This cognitive workout strengthens neural networks and may even generate new brain cells. Here's what really excites me about all this research. Volunteering is free, accessible, and has virtually no negative side effects. Unlike medications that may have risks or exercise programs that might cause injury, volunteering is universally beneficial. The only side effect is that you might help someone and make the world a little better in the process. What do you enjoy doing? Do you prefer working with people or behind the scenes? Do you like physical activity or mental challenges? Do you want routine or variety? Choose something you'll actually look forward to. How much time can you commit? Be realistic. It's better to volunteer 2 hours a week consistently than to commit to 20 hours and burn out. Most organizations value reliability over quantity. What are your limitations? Consider your physical abilities, transportation options, schedule constraints, and comfort level. Be honest about what you can and can't do. Once you've reflected on these questions, it's time to explore opportunities. Here are the best ways to find volunteer positions. VolunteerMatch.org is a fantastic website where you can search for opportunities by location, cause area, and type of work. You can filter by virtual opportunities, one-time events, or ongoing commitments. Idealist.org is another great resource, particularly for skill-based volunteering and nonprofit board positions. Contact local nonprofits directly. Think about organizations in your community that align with your interests. Call them and ask if they need volunteers. Most organizations are thrilled to hear from interested people. Check with your local volunteer center. Many communities have volunteer centers that match people with opportunities. They often have staff who can help you find the right fit. Ask your friends. Some of the best volunteer opportunities come through personal recommendations. If you have friends who volunteer, ask about their experiences and whether their organization needs more help. Consider your local library, hospital, museum, school, animal shelter, or food bank. These institutions almost always need volunteers and offer a variety of roles. Look into national service programs. Organizations like AARP, Experience Corps, and Senior Corps specifically match older adults with volunteer opportunities. When you find an opportunity that interests you, reach out and ask questions. What would you be doing? What's the time commitment? Is there training provided? What support is available? Can you try it out before committing? Most organizations will welcome your questions. They want volunteers who are informed and excited about the work. And here's something important. It's okay to try something and realize it's not the right fit. If you volunteer somewhere and don't enjoy it, you can respectfully step away and try something else. The goal is to find volunteer work that energizes you, not depletes you. I tried 3 different volunteer positions before I found the right one. First, I tried volunteering at a hospital, but the environment felt too clinical and sad for me. Then I tried working at a food bank, but the physical demands were more than I could handle. Finally, I found literacy tutoring And it was perfect. The process of exploration was valuable because I learned what I didn't want as well as what I did. What skills do you have? What are you good at? What expertise have you gained over your lifetime? Look for opportunities that leverage your strengths. What do you enjoy doing? Do you prefer working with people or behind the scenes? Do you like physical activity or mental challenges? Do you want routine or variety? Choose something you'll actually look forward to. Let me share some stories of real people whose lives were transformed by volunteering after 60. These aren't celebrities or exceptional cases. These are ordinary people who discovered extraordinary purpose through service. Meet Robert. He's 73 and retired from a career in corporate finance. After retirement, he felt lost. His identity had been wrapped up in his job for 45 years. Who was he without the title, the office, the daily challenges? He struggled with depression and wondered if his best years were behind him. Then he discovered SCORE, an organization that matches retired business professionals with small business owners who need mentoring. Robert was matched with a young woman starting a bakery. She had passion and talent, but no business experience. Robert helped her create a business plan, manage her finances, and navigate regulations. 2 years later, her bakery is thriving. She's employed 8 people and is opening a second location. And Robert? He's mentored 5 more entrepreneurs. He says he feels more fulfilled now than he did during his entire corporate career. He's using his knowledge in a way that directly changes lives. He's not just moving numbers around a spreadsheet. He's building dreams. Or consider Patricia. She's 68 and lost her husband of 42 years. The grief was crushing. She withdrew from friends, stopped doing activities she'd loved, and spent her days alone in a house full of memories. Her daughter worried she was giving up on life. A neighbor suggested she volunteer at the local animal shelter. Patricia had always loved dogs, but hadn't had one in years because of her husband's allergies. She started volunteering one morning a week, walking dogs and socializing puppies. Within a month, she was volunteering 3 days a week. Within 3 months, she'd fostered and adopted a senior dog named Max who'd been at the shelter for over a year. Max needed her, and she needed Max. The volunteer work and the companionship of the other volunteers gave her a reason to get out of bed. The unconditional love from the dogs helped her heart begin to heal. Patricia told me that volunteering at the shelter saved her life. It gave her a community when she felt alone. It gave her purpose when she felt lost. And it reminded her that she still had so much love to give and receive. Then there's James, 65, who was diagnosed with early-stage Parkinson's disease. He was terrified of losing his independence and becoming a burden. His neurologist recommended staying as active as possible, both physically and mentally, to slow the disease's progression. James began volunteering as a tour guide at a local history museum. The work required him to walk several miles during each shift, which helped maintain his mobility. Learning the historical content and answering visitors' questions kept his mind engaged, and the social interaction with visitors and other volunteers lifted his spirits. 3 years later, James's Parkinson's has progressed more slowly than expected. His neurologist attributes part of this to his active lifestyle and positive mental state. James says volunteering gives him control over something when so much feels out of his control. He's not defined by his disease. He's a historian, a storyteller, a guide. The disease is just one part of his life, not the whole story. Linda's story is different but equally powerful. She's 62 and spent her career as a corporate lawyer. High stress, long hours, impressive salary, but little joy. She retired early because she was burned out and exhausted. She thought retirement would bring happiness, but instead, she felt empty. She began volunteering at a legal aid clinic, providing free legal assistance to low-income families. For the first time in her career, she was helping people who genuinely needed her, not corporations fighting over money. She helped a single mother keep her apartment. She helped a veteran access his benefits. She helped an elderly couple avoid a predatory lending scam. Linda works more hours now as a volunteer than many retirees do in paid positions. But she says she's never been happier. The work is meaningful. The gratitude is real. She's using her skills to level the playing field for people who couldn't otherwise afford legal help. She's finally practicing law the way she always wished she could. These stories illustrate something crucial. There's a volunteer opportunity for everyone, regardless of your circumstances. Whether you're grieving, dealing with health issues, searching for purpose, or simply wanting to give back, volunteering can meet you where you are and help you grow. I've also witnessed the power of intergenerational volunteering. Tom, 76, volunteers at an elementary school as a reading buddy. He works with a third grader named Marcus, who's struggling with reading. Tom isn't a trained teacher, but he's patient, encouraging, and consistent. Every Tuesday and Thursday, he shows up. Marcus's reading has improved dramatically, but that's not the most important change. Marcus's teacher told me that he's more confident, more willing to try hard things, more engaged in school. And Tom? He says Marcus reminds him why life is worth living. The kid's energy, curiosity, and resilience inspire him. One day, Marcus wrote Tom a letter. It said, "Dear Mr. Tom, thank you for helping me read. You're my best friend. I love you." Tom keeps that letter in his wallet. He showed it to me with tears in his eyes. "This kid barely knew me," he said, "but I showed up." That's all it took, just showing up consistently and caring. And now I matter to him, and he matters to me. That's the magic of volunteering. It creates connections that transcend age, background, and circumstance. It reminds us that we're all part of the same human family, all worthy of care and capable of caring for others. I know what some of you might be thinking. This all sounds wonderful, but I have concerns. Maybe you're worried you're too old, too out of shape, too inexperienced, or too busy. Let me address the most common barriers people face when considering volunteering. I'm not healthy enough to volunteer. This is a common concern, but remember that volunteering comes in many forms. If you have mobility limitations, consider virtual volunteering or phone-based opportunities like warm line listening or friendly calling programs. If you have chronic health conditions, look for flexible opportunities where you can volunteer according to your energy levels. Many organizations need behind-the-scenes support that doesn't require physical stamina. I know a woman who volunteers from her bed on days when her arthritis is flaring. She transcribes historical documents for a university archive. She's contributed thousands of hours of work and says it helps her cope with her pain by giving her something meaningful to focus on. I don't have any special skills. You absolutely do. You have life experience. You've navigated decades of challenges, relationships, and learning. That wisdom is valuable. You don't need a specialized degree to volunteer. Some of the most impactful volunteer roles simply require you to be kind, patient, and consistent. Reading to children, visiting isolated seniors, serving meals, these don't require special training. They require heart. I don't have time. This one surprises me because most people over 60 have more discretionary time than any other age group. But I understand that time feels different for everyone. The good news is that even small amounts of volunteering make a difference. 1 hour a week, 2 hours a month. Whatever you can offer is valuable. And remember, the time you invest in volunteering pays you back in improved health and happiness. I'm afraid I'll commit to something and not be able to follow through. Start small. Many organizations offer one-time volunteer opportunities or trial periods. You can test out different roles without long-term commitment. Once you find something you love, then you can increase your involvement. I've never volunteered before and don't know where to start. That's exactly why I've outlined all these resources and options. Start by identifying one cause that matters to you. Research one organization. Make one phone call. You don't have to figure everything out at once. Take one small step, and the path will become clearer. I'm worried I won't fit in or make friends. I understand this concern, especially if you're introverted or new to volunteering. Here's the secret. Volunteer organizations are filled with kind, welcoming people who share your values. They're there because they care about the same things you do. That's instant common ground. And most organizations provide orientation and training, which helps you feel prepared and connected. Give it time. Friendships develop naturally when you're working alongside people toward a common goal. What if I don't like it? Then you try something else. Volunteering isn't a lifetime contract. You're allowed to explore and change your mind. Be honest with the organization. Thank them for the opportunity and explain that you're looking for a better fit. Most will understand and appreciate your honesty. Now let's talk about actually getting started. Here's a step-by-step process. Step 1. Reflect on your interests, skills, and constraints. Spend some time thinking about what matters to you and what you can realistically offer. Write it down if that helps. Step 2. Research 3 potential opportunities. Don't overthink this. Just find 3 organizations or programs that sound interesting. Step 3. Make contact, call, email, or visit their websites. Express your interest. Ask questions. Step 4. Attend an orientation or informational session. Most organizations offer these. It's a chance to learn more before committing. Step 5. Try it. Volunteer once or twice. See how it feels. Pay attention to your energy level, your enjoyment, and your sense of connection. Step 6. Evaluate and adjust. After a few sessions, check in with yourself. Is this working? If yes, continue and maybe increase your involvement. If no, thank them and try something else. Here's something else to consider. Volunteering can be social. Invite a friend to volunteer with you. It's more fun, less intimidating, and you'll hold each other accountable. Some of the best volunteer experiences happen when you're working alongside people you already care about. My friend Susan and I volunteer together at a community garden. We spend Saturday mornings planting, weeding, and harvesting produce that goes to local food banks. We talk while we work. We laugh. We solve the world's problems between rows of tomatoes. Those Saturday mornings are good for our bodies, good for our friendship, and good for our community. Let me leave you with one final thought about the impact of volunteering. When you volunteer, you're not just helping one person or one organization. You're creating ripples that spread far beyond what you can see. When I tutor Maria in reading, I'm not just helping her. I'm helping her grandchildren because now she can read to them. I'm helping her daughter, who no longer has to take time off work to handle her mother's paperwork. I'm helping her community because she can now participate more fully. And I'm inspiring other older adults who see that it's never too late to learn. When Robert mentors a small business owner, he's not just helping that entrepreneur. He's helping everyone that business employs. He's strengthening the local economy. He's demonstrating that older adults have invaluable knowledge to share. He's modeling what purposeful retirement looks like. When Patricia walks dogs at the shelter, she's not just exercising animals. She's increasing their chances of adoption. She's freeing up shelter staff to do other crucial work. She's creating a more humane community. And she's showing other widows that life can still hold joy and meaning. Your volunteer work matters more than you know. Every act of service sends ripples through the world. You might never see the full impact of what you do, but it's there, spreading outward, touching lives in ways you can't imagine. And here's the beautiful paradox. When you volunteer to help others, you end up helping yourself. You live longer, you feel happier, you stay healthier, you build community, you find purpose, you create meaning. Help others, help yourself. It's not just a catchy phrase. It's a profound truth backed by decades of scientific research and millions of personal stories. So here's my challenge to you. Before this week ends, take one action toward volunteering. Research one organization, make one phone call, attend one orientation, sign up for one shift, just one small step. Your community needs you. Your skills matter. Your time is valuable. Your presence makes a difference. And most importantly, you deserve the gift that volunteering gives back to you. If this video inspired you, if you're ready to discover how giving back can transform your life after 60, I need you to do something for me right now. Subscribe to the Milestone Mentor. We're building a community of people who refuse to see aging as decline and instead embrace it as opportunity. We celebrate purpose, growth, and vibrant living at every age. Hit that subscribe button, ring the notification bell so you never miss a video. We release new content every week, exploring health, purpose, relationships, adventure, and everything that makes life after 60 extraordinary. And here's what I really want you to do. Leave a comment below. Tell me about your volunteer experience, or if you've never volunteered, tell me what's been holding you back. Let's support each other, share ideas, connect. That's what community is all about. If you know someone who's struggling with purpose after retirement, someone who's lonely, someone who's wondering what comes next, share this video with them. Your share might be exactly what they need to hear today. Remember, life after 60 isn't about slowing down. It's about redirecting your energy toward what truly matters. And few things matter more than helping others, and in the process, helping yourself. Thank you for being part of the Milestone Mentor community. Thank you for believing that your best years are still ahead. Thank you for being willing to give your time, your skills, and your heart to make the world a little better. Now get out there and start volunteering. Your purpose is waiting. Your community is waiting. Your healthier, happier future self is waiting. All you have to do is take that first step. I'll see you in the next video, where we'll continue exploring what makes life after 60 absolutely incredible. Until then, remember, help others, help yourself. It's that simple and that profound. Subscribe to the Milestone Mentor, and let's keep growing together.